Anyone else feel like their social media feed has been kind of completely overtaken by photos of sourdough lately? Whether you like it or loaf it, when you take a closer look, there's actually some pretty cool science involved in baking the perfect bread. Like most bread, sourdough relies on yeast to rise and give it that fluffy texture. But unlike regular bread, sourdough isn't made with commercial yeast. Instead, it relies on something called a starter. A starter is a fermented mix of flour and water, which contains a bunch of natural yeasts and bacteria. And it's this microbial mix that holds the key to the unique flavours that we find in sourdough. Flour is made mainly of starch, a complex carbohydrate made of long chains of glucose. When it's mixed with water, enzymes within the flour are activated, and they break the starch down into simple sugars. To bacteria and yeast, these sugars are like an all-you-can-eat buffet. They digest them, and as byproducts, they produce carbon dioxide, which creates the bubbles in a sourdough starter, and a range of acids, which give the sourdough its sour flavour and its name. Different combinations of microbes will produce different types of acids, giving each starter its own unique flavour. Lactic acid, which we normally find in yogurt, gives a milder flavour, while acetic acid, that's vinegar, makes the starter more pungent and sour. When we bake with commercial yeast, we're using just one strain of yeast, which means we'll get a pretty consistent flavour each time we bake. But because sourdough uses natural yeast and bacteria found in flour, each starter will be different, and the breads they yield will never taste quite the same. Which types of microbes will be present depends on a lot of different factors. What type of flour you use, the temperature and the humidity where you keep your starter, how much water is added, and whether you use any extras, like yogurt or beer. Research has shown that even the microbes on your hands will add to your sourdough starter, changing the microbial community, and therefore the flavour of your bread. Which means your sourdough might actually taste just a little bit like you.